back now. We got the legendary coach in the back. You want to give him a Uncle Neely badass introduction?
Man, the guy has done it at every level. Super Bowl champion, head coach, has gone undefeated in the conference at a HBCU, has been coach of the year in what is known as the XFL, if you will. Has
Don't
been
forget
there,
about
done
that.
that, Chico. Has done it at every level of the game. Is doing his thing at Tennessee State. Our main man, he's been on the morning run before. TMR live first appearance. Head coach Reggie Barlow, Tennessee State.
Let's get it in, baby.
Yes, sir. How's it going?
Doing good, my brother. How you feeling?
Blessed, man. Blessed, blessed, blessed. Doing
Hey,
well.
that great intro, Unc, but you got to say one of Montgomery's finest,
I was trying to leave that for Alabama, for you, Chico.
if not the one. Been hearing about him for the longest. Shout out to Lanier High School, formerly Lanier High. Is it still Lanier?
Yes, we combined with Carver High School, so our school actually closed, and everybody went over to Carver. So that's one of those things when you get up in age, man. You won't live long enough where they close your school down. That's when you lived a little bit, right?
That's right.
Well, that'll never happen to Chico because he never finished at any one particular school, so he don't have any ties. Coach, how's your fall camp going? About midway through August here.
Yeah, fall camp has been pretty decent. We got off to a good start. One, we got some new additions. We have Coach Thornton, Seth Thornton, who we're familiar with as our defensive coordinator, leading our defense. Coach Matt Leone, a guy that came over from North Carolina Central as our offensive coordinator, and Ryan Conway being our special teams coordinator. So it's been really cool to work with these guys. We brought in some new players, obviously with the transfer portal and everything that goes with that. So, but it's gone good. I mean, we've had some really solid days, and then of course, you're gonna have those dog days of training camp where guys might be, not right because of body hurting and that type of stuff. But they've done a good job of fighting through that, and we've happy with the progress that they've made throughout.
Coach, I know when you get that schedule, you don't look past anybody. You got to take them 1 week at a time. You start off at home in Nashville with Jackson State coming to town, a team that you used to play, or the institution used to play, the Southern Heritage in Memphis. But then you got Georgia down in Athens and Alabama A&M and FAMU. Like, they can't nobody say you dodging the smoke now. You got four coming at you.
Yeah, it's a real live schedule, and obviously getting a chance to play against a great Jackson State team, great coaches there. The history and tradition is unmatched, man. I've always been a fan of Jackson State and their fans and how they do it there. And then, Coach Taylor and all the, and his staff. And then, of course, Georgia, man, it's the SEC big dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for our guys, I mean, there's different ways you can look at it. You can, you talk about fear. You can face everything and run, or you can face everything and rise. And, for our guys, they get a chance to go out and compete against a SEC school who obviously with Kirby Smart and the wonderful players that they have there. So you never know. We were at Bama State, and we coached a guy named Titus Howard. And Titus, Bama State played Auburn. Titus Howard went out and kicked butt and did a good job, and he ended up getting drafted in the first round. So that game might be an opportunity for our guys to GMP, get mom paid. So
that's right.
We're looking forward to it.
That's how you have to look at it too. As a coach and a player, you have to look at it like that. This is an opportunity, dog.
Yeah.
I know somebody's going to be here to watch them. So here's a chance I can get their eyeballs on me.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yeah. And when you go to NFL, like, many of these guys want, I mean, that's what happened for us. I mean, we play HBCU, but, when we went to the NFL, you're going to play against those type of guys anyway. So you might get a shot at it now.
Exactly. I got to hold myself, Coach, because I always think of stories from my past. You know what I mean? So I was just going to go to Uncle like that, but I was.
I just don't like how you said I got to hold myself. Like you don't.
Oh my gosh, Coach! I was just going to say that reminds me of. I remember when Robert Johnson out of Carver High School in Montgomery was getting recruited heavily by Auburn. And I was playing outside linebacker. And I said, man, here's my chance to get on Auburn's radar. You know, I'm a year behind him. And Robert don't like me telling that story, but, you know, I got recruited after that game by Auburn. So that whole mindset philosophy right there is exactly how I got to college also.
Yeah, man, you never know who's watching. And, you know, you just want to be able to go out and get your best shot and compete at a high level. So good things may happen.
Yes, sir. Hey, let's talk about some recruiting. Coach, how has recruiting been, especially in this NIL era? I know Tennessee State has been like a hot destination for a lot of recruits, you know, especially in the HBCU world. But talk about recruiting and how has that been, especially with your new coordinators?
Yeah, obviously it's changed. You mentioned NIL, man. I tell you, back when we were at Alabama State, Virginia State, whatever, and you go in with your recruiting pitch to these guys, and a lot of times you're able to sell your pitch, and you're able to sell yourself and your program and your character and all that. Still can do that stuff these days, but they're gonna wait till you finish and then ask you, how much can you pay me? So it has changed a whole bunch. But it's still competitive. You still got to have a pitch and a plan and let the guys know how you're going to develop them. We can talk about guys that have, you know, you can't hide from losing a guy. So we sell the fact that, hey, we've had guys come here. Our starting left tackle came here and developed, got bigger and stronger, had a solid year. And then Boston College came and got him. So instead of hiding from that type of stuff, hey, we got a punter that was really good for us last year. Missouri came and got him. So we'll use those stories and those guys to give testimonials of, yeah, I'm not here now, but I started here and I got developed here. And I had an opportunity to go to another school. So just a combination of that, you know, you got to recruit more high school people because the bigger schools are grabbing our guys or grabbing FCS guys. So, you know, grabbing high school guys and developing them and, you know, not having to deal with the NIL stuff as much with the younger guys and some of the JUCO guys. So just a different little approach.
Yeah, I think, Coach, that's a wise approach because it just is what it is. Why fight the wave when you can ride it? You know, the probability of getting a guy high school and coaching him all 4 years, if he becomes that guy, the phone is going to ring, the offer is going to come. And
Yeah.
if you're the kind of program that propels people NIL wise to another level, use it to your advantage as a marketing tool. Like, hey, you can come here. We develop to get you bigger, stronger, faster. You put up the numbers, win a conference championship here. Look at what happens to the guys who do that from here. I don't think there's anything crazy about the approach. That's just the reality of college football today.
Yeah, I think you know, having that approach, that mindset. I mean, it may not work for everybody. I think I heard Marshall Falk talking about it the same way. I mean, it's not like you're recruiting guys to lose them, but you are recruiting them and knowing that there's a possibility you can lose them if they come and play to the ability that you recruited them at, and also if they have success and we have success. So, but yeah, using those testimonials is, hey man, come here and play, and you know we're able to give out a little something, but you know if somebody comes and spend a little bit more and have bigger pockets, then of course, you know we're gonna chest bump you, shake your hand, and ask you to leave us a testimonial.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I help you
Yeah.
pack it that offer big enough. Don't turn that down.
Yeah, that
Coach,
guy. It's just
Coach Prime has brought in two new coordinators here, and you've done the same there. When you look at, aside from rosters turning over your players, what's some of the things you've seen from your two new coordinators that have moved your program up a notch, you know, in this short amount of time?
Yeah, I think you know a lot of stuff come with credibility. These student athletes want to know who are you, all right? And you get a said Thornton, they know okay, he's been a defensive coordinator for most of his career. He's been a coordinator, not just a position coach, and he's had some real good success at Alcorn where they played for the championship a few times. One of the few times they played in the championship game a few times. So seeing that and seeing the knowledge of Coach Thornton and what he's done in the past, obviously is instant credibility for our defensive guys and our other players. And it's the same way with Coach Matt Leone. He was at North Carolina Central. All you got to do is go back and read the amount of points that he averaged
Yeah,
every
30
season.
plus.
And it's 30 plus this year, 30 plus. And when we were doing our homework on him, I mean, you had to go back dang near 8 years to see that a number under 30. Uh,
Mm,
and these kids, because they do want a GMP, get mom paid, they're going to find out and read and know who you are. And it's the same over there with Prime. Prime brought on two guys that have done it at a high level and score a lot of points and stop people. So, in this day and world, honestly, it's ever changing. I mean, a lot of folks say, "Well, you're changing coordinators." Well, the last coordinator, there's a new group of players as well, so
mm-hmm.
yeah, like they got this crazy adjustment. It's it could be you could lose dang near half of your defense to transfer, whether it's going FBS big school or lateral to FCS school. So that's just what it is, and it starts with the credibility of our guys. And for us, coming out of the UFL and the XFL as a head coach, this was really what we were used to. Every year we were going to have to rebuild our team because we
Right.
had guys either going to the NFL, guys either retiring, or guys you just didn't want back. So there is always going to be 30 or so new guys that you got to bring into your climate, make sure they understand how you do things, and just be the thermostat setter, and those guys will conform to it.
Coach, I
Coach.
gotta ask you this before Chico hops in
But
there. You talked about your coordinators and how that test of been there, done that, and the guys recognize their credibility. With your playing experience, your coaching experience, the Super Bowl win, et cetera, et cetera. Do you ever have to remind your guys that hey, the head coach knows something too?
Yeah, no. These we got a good group of guys, man. They do their homework. I've had a few guys said that they watched my highlight tape on YouTube,
yeah.
and you know, so that's always cool, and they recognize that, man. The true example being an HBCU guy, a guy who played college ball, had some success, got drafted, played in the league. Like it shows that it could happen for them as well. Um, our coaches do a great job. We got Dexter Jackson on staff, who's a Super Bowl MVP.
That's what I was going to ask
Know
you about.
about his career. We
Yeah.
got Richard Dent on staff, that's a senior consultant, Hall of Famer. Um, so they get a chance to see and feel a good group of guys that have played on the highest level and did it on the highest level.
Yeah, that's why I was going to go with it. With Dexter Jackson and Richard Dent. How did you even get them to be a part of your staff? Was it you already had a previous relationship with them? Reach out to them. They reached out to you. How did that happen?
Yeah, so Dexter Jackson and I, we were teammates on the Tampa Bay team. He won Super Bowl MVP, so we were teammates for 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
And then he worked with us at Alabama State, and we've just always stayed in contact. Always wanted to get back together and work together. And the timing wasn't right because he had daughters that were in high school, but
Hmm.
then they started graduating, and the wife of his allowed him to come and get back on with us here in Nashville. Real sharp, knowledgeable guy. He gets the best out of his players, man. So we happy Dexter is here. And then Dent, he's an alum here. He went to Tennessee State, and he had kind of been away from the school and the program for many years. And one of the things that we wanted to do when we got here was embrace the culture of the former players who had laid the foundation.
Mm.
I think it would be an insult to come to these guys' school and not embrace them and have them around and that type of stuff. Matter of fact, I'll meet with Dent and Brian Ransom and a few other guys that play here at 5:30 today. So it kind of started like that with a good conversation, and then getting his ideas and what he think and things that he would like to do. And then of course we recruited his sons. He got two sons that's on the team now, RJ Dent and Shiloh Dent. So this is He got about choked up yesterday just talking to our team about how this is a dream come true to be back at
Mm,
his school and to be out here coaching with his two sons. So it's pretty much how it happened.
yes. Hey, let's talk about some of those players you have and some of those guys you brought in. Who's going to be standout guys this year that's going to have you guys to bounce back and have a great season?
Yeah, man. We have on the defensive side of the ball, we got Marlon Huff. We have Jalen Price. Those guys played for last year, got a lot of experience. Brandon Hale plays in the secondary, kind of like a leader and captain back there. Kaki Baker's another guy that comes to mind. Byron Davis, one of our secondary guys as well. Those are some guys that we feel good about. There's some other guys that we signed. Um, I almost said free agency, but some guys that we signed and
Yeah.
and recruiting at mid-year that we like. And offensive line, we got Breon Brown is one guy. We brought in two quarterbacks that's been battling it out, Dalen Lee and
Mm-hmm.
Marcellus Tate, who's a transfer from South Florida.
USF. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Byron McNair, who's a guy that played for us last year. So um, so we got some guys. Cam Bullock, wide receiver, Carlos Simmons Brown, a running back, a few other guys, man. So we've been blessed, man. It's just about gelling together at the right time, guys working hard, and just being on the same page and being aligned.
Exactly. Byron McNair
Coach,
has a
that's
name, don't he?
Yeah, he does have a name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach, you went down the road. I want to continue down there about when you said come together and gelling. As we sit here, you are about 12 days away from your season opener on August the 29th with Jackson State coming to town. What's left for you guys in your fall camp as school classes getting ready to start or have started back? What's that next level that you have to overcome to make sure your guys are ready for August 29th?
Yeah, so school started for us today. So it's one managing that. Obviously, it's new for some of these guys that are freshmen, and then new to guys that just got here to Tennessee State, and making sure that they know how we do things. We sit in the first two rows of class, and if you're not in the first two rows, then that means you miss.
Mm.
We're talking about just being extremely responsible and accountable for off the field stuff because it correlates to on the field stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing for us, Unc, is a lot more situational football as we continue to practice and putting ourselves in those type of situations when you're coming out and you're backed up on a 3-yard line and needing to get a first down or two first downs or defense getting stopped. Your 2-minute offense, your 4-minute offense, your special team stuff. So those are things that we'll continue to work on. Um, as we get closer to game time. We've typically in the past about 10 days out or so. Uh, that's when we introduce the new opponent, and we didn't want to have the whole camp where it's focused on your first opponent. We
Mm.
um, we like to do that target practice there about 10 to 12 days out. So we'll eventually introduce the target for game one, and then kind of go from there. But a bunch of situational football.
Coach, one thing I think that goes over people's heads out there is when a head coach is talking about situational football and what we got to do with these last days of camp. He's also talking about his coaches too.
Oh yeah,
That situational football is just as important for the staff as it is for the players.
that's right, man. I know when we're doing 2 minute, I want to see whether it's 2 minutes before the half or 2 minutes before the end of the game, whether you need a touchdown, whether you need a field goal.
Yeah.
Um, as I'm planning in my head, I let the coordinators do what they say, what they think would happen, what they call a timeout right here after this play with 13
Mhm.
seconds, or will we clock it, or those type of deals, or will we take a timeout and that type of stuff, and then we all collab and say, hey, I probably would have taken the timeout right there or whatever. So, but it's definitely worked for our coaches. It's the communication from our coaches to our players, and I mean, it's work for the referees and practice for them too, because
Yeah.
they've been out for a little bit, but that type of stuff you have to rep it, and still you can rep everything you can think of, and then that football it'll present something in a game that you're like, I gotta add that to the list. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, just about everything you can think about situational. We've been doing that, like we do a special category a day of the day, and we'll continue that throughout the rest of this week, and then of course through next week as well.
All right.
Coach,
Hey,
in that regard, have you gotten through the mechanics of, particularly with your two new coordinators or whatever new staff you have in addition to that, that who's going to be sideline guys, who's going to be press box guys, or is that something you start dealing with in that 10-day out window?
Yeah, actually, me working with Thornton, I already kind of knew that he was a sideline guy and call it. And then we talked about who goes up and all that stuff. And then with Coach Leon, honestly, during the interview process or the trying to select, bring them on, those are the questions I always ask anyways. Like, are you on the field calling it or up top? And
mm,
and I'm not. I have my preference that I want those guys to be comfortable. So Coach Leone, and then we talked about which guys will be up top with him and doing what, and which guys will be down on the field. So we've had those conversations, and we mimic that when we have like our Saturday practices as well.
Coach, you have something to say for those recruits out there that's looking for a school to go to? They're right there in the Tennessee Valley area. You know what I mean? They might not know much about Tennessee State, but they should. You know,
Yeah.
what do you have to say to them?
Well, one, Tennessee State 1912, man, this school has so much history and tradition. It is in a great city. Nashville is the fastest growing city in the country. There's a lot to do here. This campus is a beautiful campus, man. You got your restaurants, your fast food places over here. And then if you want to own your own network and be
Mm,
on TV,
mm,
you can come here. Oprah did it. She went to Tennessee State University. If you want to be a number one draft pick overall, come
yeah.
to Tennessee State. Ed Too Tall Jones did it. If you want to play in a band, sing in a band, dance in a band, come here. Earth, Wind, and Fire. If you want to be in the Hall of Fame and play football, come here. Richard Dick, Claude Humphreys. If you think you want to be in track and run track, the Tiger Bells, medals and medals, Wilma Rudolph, Coach Cheeseburger,
Mm.
uh, Ed Temple. And if you want to play basketball, we just won the OVC last year. We got an outstanding coach in Nolan Smith. And if you want to come play football, man,
Nolan Smith is there.
yeah, Nolan Smith is here. Yeah. And if you want to play football, where else, man? We got our T and we got our S. The only thing we're missing is you.
He's kid. I like
I love it, Coach Ball.
Yeah,
I
man.
love that was a good one. That was a good one. That was a good
Yes,
one right there.
yeah.
And you
So
got, I said that Jackson State, Tennessee State connection. Coach John Merritt, who was at Jackson State, then went on to
uh,
Tennessee State, and now there's statues and streets and a classic now named after him, the John Merritt Classic coming up. You are hosting Jackson State University on August 29th. Man, wishing you a much successful season. You know this door is always open on TMR Live for you to come back, Coach Barlow.
man, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for using y'all platform the way y'all use it, man. Keep killing it. Keep doing good things, positive things, and we hope to catch up with you guys at some point during the season.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. We'll see you.
All right, man.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes,
Coach
sir.
Barlow.
Yes, indeed. The legendary one. Hey, shout out to all my people back in Alabama watching this. Like, damn, Chico interviewing Coach Barlow. Yep. And all the recruits out there. Hey, y'all need a good coach to go play.